like, hey, good for Stanley. And Stanley sent her a new car.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
And
oh
it just snowboarded after that. So,
yeah,
That's
like,
crazy.
when you place products at like very real places, and it just looks like the ad looks like not an ad, it just gets people.
yeah. There was a story. I don't know if this. I think it was Subaru. They didn't. I don't think
Hmm.
they did anything. But this guy in Scandinavia somewhere, his car rolled into a lake, and then the lake froze over, and he couldn't get it out until or it fell through the ice or something, and it was stuck in the bottom of the lake, and they couldn't get to it until spring when the ice thawed. He pulled it out of the lake. He drained the car that was filled with water, and it started up on the third try. Um,
Oh, wow.
and I was like, if Subaru, I think it was a Subaru, I can find it, but
Yeah.
if Subaru found that, they should have definitely called them up and been like, we need to use this as an ad.
It was a woman, or what was it like?
Um, I think it
The
was a guy, that seems like a guy
Yeah.
thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Subaru.
I heard about Subaru because it's my favorite car, because my first car ever was a Subaru in US. I don't know, somebody was telling me there are a lot of lesbians buying Subaru. I don't know, it's a thing. I don't know
Yep.
if it's true. Is it?
It's not only true, but Subaru got wind of this and started advertising. There's a whole case study on it. They started advertising specifically in ways to attract lesbians because like a lot of things in the gay community is about signaling that you're gay without saying that you're actually gay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so the marketing department got wind of this and they actually started a quiet campaign to be like, hey, if you're gay, if you're lesbian, uh, this is the car you drive, right? So you know, especially, in certain places where you can't be out.
Yeah.
So you just have to send subtle signals, and one of them became, it's kind of a joke now, but one of them
Or
became like, "Hey, I drive a Subaru." So,
Interesting. Yeah, interesting. That's so interesting. Like all these things about the brand and how they shape and the kind of people they talk to. Super cool. So yeah, we'll look forward to that Wake Water kind of video to blow
oh
up. He's,
yeah,
by
I
the
don't
way, an
think it will,
investor.
but
So everybody needs an investor like that who's doing cool videos for
that's
their
what I say.
brands.
I know sometimes they're like, "Charlie, it's fine. We got a marketing team." I say, "Hey, you're not getting cool stuff like this."
Yeah, that's
yeah.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's the plugin for the first flight
First flight angels,
angels,
very
right?
very
Yeah,
hands-on.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Very hands-on. You
for
get to
sure.
do not just the money, you also get cool videos from
Yeah,
the investors. So that's a cool advertisement for First Flight Angels. Forget everybody else. Just
yeah.
use the video for yourself.
Yeah, I'd be like, look at the
Yeah.
extra lengths I go to for my portfolio.
For portfolio. By the way, Yash and Tanya, I never mentioned it, but if you see the poster today
Yeah.
also on his name, it says First Flight Angels, not Outfox,
Yeah.
because that's
Okay.
he's also investing in startups, and Bakewater is a big brand here in Canada. He's invested in them. And how's that going though? First Flight Angels, we never talked. How's that going?
It's going well. It's just like I guess it ebbs and flows. So we're looking. I mean, it really is a vehicle for a number of different things just within my network. So I've got six investments now. I think Wake Water, Vegan, Marlowe, um, Slaterverse, which is a movie production studio, um, Floydian Pictures, which is another smaller indie film production company. I might be missing one.
You got
Uh,
too many.
and oh, PontoSense, which is Wi-Fi monitoring for healthcare, like using the Wi-Fi
Oh,
signals to see when people fall. It's kind of like
yeah.
I think their
Oh,
technology can be applied to some other stuff too, but they've
Yes.
developed some really cool things. So I think that once they develop it out for this specific use case, they have some really cool IP.
So I
I'll
think you
connect. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Yash.
No, no, I was just asking the stage. I think all of them are seed, pre-seed kind of
Yeah,
stage.
Yeah, let's see. I
Because
mean,
of the name, I'm guessing the first flight, the
yeah,
stage,
they're
I'm
pretty
guessing.
early.
Yeah.
I think, well, Wake Water now. I mean, I've been an investor for them for a while. They do um they've done like they're doing more than 5 million a quarter now.
Okay. Okay.
And
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, they're growing pretty
They're
good.
growing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They're
What
everywhere. I
was,
mean, Wake
yeah,
Water. Yeah, Tanya.
what was like your first company that you went in not just as a creative, but also as like this entrepreneur? And how did that even start?
So, well, I mean, the first thing when I do you guys remember a show called Reboot?
I
No.
Was
have.
It's
was
No.
that
you
a
guys are pretty
show?
young.
You said
It could
show?
Okay.
also be the cultural difference.
Yeah, for sure. So, when I was 10, I think my somebody I got $2,000. A relative passed away and I got $2,000. And I really liked this TV show called Reboot. And it was like um CGI animation.
Okay.
And I was like, this is the coolest kind of animation. The story's good, and it's kind of like I kind of felt like this is the new style of animation. It could
Yeah.
do like it wasn't traditional animation because it was using computers. Um
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I can you can bring it up or whatever, but anyways, I really liked them. I thought it was cool. So I invested, I looked into the company. I was 9. I looked in the company and the company was called Mainframe Entertainment. And I said, "Yeah, I want to invest in them." So I asked my dad. I said I want to invest my $2,000 in Mainframe Entertainment. Um, and this was like pre-Pixar. They were basically Pixar before Pixar was a thing. Yeah.
Wow.
I lost all my money. Um,
Oh,
they did not do well.
okay. I was looking for a success story here.
Yeah,
I can see
no.
that.
Um,
I can
Yeah.
I
it
can see
was
this reboot.
interesting learning experience.
Yeah, I
I
think they look cool.
Yeah, I think they eventually went private or something, but they did not do well. They made yeah, Reboot, Beast Wars, they did a Barbie series. They're
Yeah,
still
and
around apparently.
there's also
Mainframe.ca.
something there's also something in 2018 called Reboot the Guardian Code. They came up with like a proper movie. It looks similar. I'm not sure if it
We
is
Yeah.
should
it.
show on screen who's the host. Samir, you should show on screen. Like what is it? How do we oh,
Yeah, I'm
Reboot.
just
I'm
sharing the
seeing it.
screen.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you invested in them, you saying? The
I,
Reboot, the producers
I
of the
invested in the
show?
producers, Mainframe Entertainment. And they were doing stuff like prior to Pixar and stuff like that. Had I invested in Pixar, I would
Oh,
not,
go up a
be
little.
sitting on a
Oh.
couch in a small apartment.
So, is this the one?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The 94 to 2001. Okay.
yeah.
The main frame. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so it's a good lesson in sort of I guess understanding the different moving parts of a successful company. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
this was Reboot, and it was a popular show back in the day.
Yeah, I can
Um,
Yeah.
understand why a 9-year-old is investing in this. It
yeah,
seems
I
like
mean
a very
invest in
good
what you like,
decision.
right?
No,
This is
I
like
Yeah,
cannot. Dude, I cannot understand why a 9-year-old is investing. Like how did
yeah,
you
That's
that is
Charles
quite
for you.
strange.
I think it's such a cool marketing kind of way that you should start your pitch in first flight that my first investment was in Reboot when I was 9 years old. I've been investing since then. That's so
yeah.
cool.
Uh, and it's funny because they're not public anymore, publicly traded. So I'm just Googling this now.
Dude, how rich was your dad? Like to get you an investing.
No, I
No, it
was
was the relative,
yeah, somebody died. I didn't, you know.
incidental.
Okay.
Basically, somebody died, he got $2,000 and he invested. He wanted to, he really liked this series, so he invested it in it by
I think
Yeah.
asking his dad.
even to think about investment. I mean, we guys when we were 9 or 10, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, I
We
only
were
wanted to
playing the
invest. Yeah,
characters, like
we were
that
playing the
was
characters.
that was max creativity where it
Yeah.
went.
Yeah, I
Nice.
mean, I think it's funny because you can have a good idea and not so good execution, and it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. Like I on the one hand, I was like, I feel like I saw something there in that proof of this kind of style was Pixar,
Mm.
Yeah.
which went crazy big, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
then execution wise, they had trouble, you know, growing, and
Mhm.
they were acquired. The studio still exists apparently, but they went
Yeah.
public, then they didn't do well, and then they were repackaged, and it was a whole thing, so um I think a lot of it just comes down to like better execution, better leadership, and
They
all
still
that stuff.
exist
Mm.
because of your money, I think.
Yeah,
We
no, I
invested
doubt it.
that was
Yeah.
their safe that was their safe money. If nothing happens, we'll
Yeah,
take
yeah,
this
my
idea.
2,000 bucks.
2,000
Yeah.
bucks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Paying for a boat rental at least on the lake.
yeah.
S-
No, I
So
don't think it went very far.
so that's cool that I mean Tanya asked you about just like how you jumped into entrepreneurship. In a way you jumped there, but you never worked. Like I'm just curious, you never like really had a job. You straight away started the creative being a creative freelancer to an agency, or you had a
I have
job
had,
too?
yeah, no, I mean, I have had jobs sort of. Like when my agency was acquired in 2021, I worked with for the parent company for 2 years. That was fine. Pros and
But that was
cons.
later though. That was
That
later
was
though.
later. Yeah, I guess like I don't know. Let's see. What was my first job was reffing basketball, and then I worked at a golf course.
Yeah.
I drove the machine that picked up the golf balls on the
Yeah.
driving range.
Oh, that's not really a creative job, but that's a job that pays you something.
Yeah.
But I'm saying you didn't really, that's amazing that you didn't have like a being a
A
creative, you
nine to
didn't really
five.
work. Yeah, you didn't work for an agency or anything. You just like started doing your own thing straight away, right?
Yeah, no, I couldn't. I tried to get a job at Sid Lee.
Yeah.
They what I discovered about agencies is they're very exploitative. So like
Yeah.
at the time, like, Sid Lee was known for having really good creative, but it looked like there's like the people on top, and then
Yeah.
the people underneath who get paid nothing have to work really, really hard. They're the
Yeah.
creative ones. They last 1 to 2 years and then they leave for a better job. But they get good experience, blah, 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 whatever. I mean, it's
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
exploitative.
Oh,
Um,
so on that note, I want to say to Yash, that
Mhm.
at least he should feel better because he asked me that should I take a job or should I just start on my own? I was like, start on your own, man. It's the best thing you can do.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's pros and cons. So like you'll learn structure, you'll learn best practices. There's definitely things in agencies that they've figured out that as a person you'll learn the hard way instead of just like,
For sure.
smart people learn from their own mistakes, wise people learn from others. So like
Yeah.
the joys of an agency, also a bigger agency, part of the reason I wanted to get acquired was because I wanted to get acquired by a company that was doing like had really cool clients with really big projects. So when
Yeah.
Astound bought
Mhm.
Patio, they had Nike, they had Porsche, they had Spotify, you know.
Wow.
It's very and they had, like we designed the Nike flagship location in Yorkdale in Toronto. It was a big deal. Like
Mm.
it's very cool. Um,
Mm.
and it would be like my company couldn't get that. And as an individual, like sometimes you're like, hey, it would be really cool to work on something bigger. Like
Mm.
Mm.
you think about Christopher Nolan, he just came out with the Odyssey, right? But like if you look at
Yeah.
all his past movies, like he didn't start with Odyssey budgets. He started with smaller
Mm.
movies and then
Yeah.
slowly worked his way up. And then he's the kind of guy who's like, I want to do the biggest, most epic thing possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But,
Mm.
so and some agencies will treat you well and you got to have boundaries and you got to play the game well.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
I think Tanya is working for you still working for Leo Burnett or you were
No,
working?
I was working for Leo Burnett. My clients were Spotify, Acco, and Lays. And pretty much what Charles said, like I was really enamored and very excited about the scale of advertising and the scale of the companies because it was as magical as, okay, I have this idea. and you would see it in execution in like the next month. And that idea could be as big as, okay, I think this entire town should be purple or red because I'm selling a purple chip or a red chip. Like it was, you could say anything, and if your idea is strong, it would happen. So for a young person who's just out of college, imagine like the amount of power that you feel. But then over a period of time, I started like really liking small things, but very ownable and very like thoughtfully done things as well, which is when I separated and I now have my independent practice.
Yeah, I mean it can be soul crushing as well too. So you can
Mhm.
take what you learn there and then
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
go somewhere else.
Yeah, I think a part of the agenda today is, of course, we build upon the Outfox thing. But so, Yash, at least you get some inspiration today,
Yeah,
from these discussions. One of the cool thing that Yash, I want him to show also is that, I mean, I was blown away that he's working with a designer who's invited to birthday party of Madonna. I'm like, he's in Italy, right? He's an Italian guy, or like, if you can show what you're doing for him. I really
yeah.
loved what you're doing for this guy. He's a designer, I think, right? Fashion designer or somebody?
Yes, yes. He's a fashion
Yeah.
designer. Yeah, he owns his own label. So the stuff I'm working on, that's under NDA, but I'll show the work that he did. I'll need the sharing rights.
I'll make you the host, maybe. How do I? I think Samir is the host, right? Samir, you want to make him the host, or
I think that he will have to give the
I have
request for sharing.
just
It's
I have
ask for request?
coming.
Yeah.
done requested. It's written host
It's
is
not.
not allowed sharing for this
We
meeting.
need to see the settings. Yeah, I think it's not allowed. Just make him the host for now, so
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you can
Just
share, and then whoever shares can be the host.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe we can ask Charles for his opinion on fashion. Look at his shirt.
Oh, this is an astound shoot. This was so that the company the parent company that acquired mine still have.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's their like own merch, kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah,
Nice. That's cool. That's a cool
yeah.
one. Maybe now Yash can show.
Yeah. I'll show the company first, I think.
Uh,
Give
Reboot.
reboot.
Saga Boy.
Yeah. So this is the company. The founder is East Indian, partly Indian, and he was settled in the Caribbean. So the whole company has this Caribbean vibe, and they do every like a proper like a fashion label. They
Hmm.
do fall collections and every year. So I worked with, interestingly, like I was like you see this kind of fashion show. So when I went to Milan for my semester exchange, I just when I landed the next day, I kind of mailed them for volunteering in the show, basically steam pressing and making connections with the design students there or fashion students. And that's how I met the founder. And after the show, we kind of talked, and I gave him my visiting card that I saw that you have some experience in graphics, because in LinkedIn I stalked him out, and there was something written called Joff and Co, which is basically his visual design practice,
Hmm.
under which he positions Saga Boy as well. So then, interestingly, I kept following up, but nothing turned out. But 3 months later, he texted me, I'm working with this new collection, and would you like to help? And then at that point, he just wanted some social media, graphics or something to create hype around the work. But I said, it will be interesting if I have the skin in the game. So I ended up developing prints and the whole storytelling of the collection according to what concept note he shared with me. So
Hmm.
this is how the clothes kind of turned out. So the concept around this is, after black slavery was abolished, East Indian laborers were transported under an agreement by the British government to areas in Caribbean for sugarcane harvesting. And the founder really resonated with this story, and he wanted to bring this to the eye of the viewers. So even if you see in the scarf we developed, there's a mix and jam of the Caribbean and Indian culture, and through the colors and the illustrations and detailing that we wanted to show, and this kind of thing.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I couldn't believe he did it first. Like, are these? I was like, are these your clothes? So you designed them and then he made them into clothes and you
Yes.
put it out there. It's a good exposure to get early on in your career. I told him like go after all the fashion labels in Italy and tell them you can do this for them. You have to pick your niche as a designer too, right? Otherwise, if you're doing multidisciplinary to everything to everybody, you don't know how to market yourself. So maybe I thought this can be an interesting way to position to fashion designers across the world that I can not just make your clothes, your social media and everything else too.
Yeah, yeah. So right now I'm working then with him on socials and more collections in future.
Mhm. Do you like fashion? Is that a stream you enjoy?
Uh, so I like fashion. I think I am at that stage in my life right now where I like everything related to design, because this was because I was already kind of bringing my niche into branding, and then this opportunity came, and it was a really different experience. And just the feeling of still being a design student in a college, and that my prints are getting on a runway in Milan right now when I've left Milan. So everywhere I go, I kind of have this energy that I want to leave my mark there. So in Melbourne, I kind of designed a branding in Indian beer tap room when I was interning under a studio there. So all of these experiences, yeah, it's really interesting. And yeah,
Still
just to
exploring.
summarize, I like fashion also.
Mm. Do either of you follow esports? Do any of you follow esports at all?
Like in what sense?
Not
Esports is just big, right? Like just following
Yeah.
esports is
You know,
just
have you heard of Shopify Rebellion?
I
no.
haven't. No.
No, okay. Um, it's so Shopify Rebellion is they're like the esports wing of Shopify, and they
Okay.
sponsor teams, um, and they sell they have merch and stuff, and they have like different here, I can just drop it in the chat. They have different things. Anyways, just been reviewing them. My friend works at Shopify. I'm just trying to get a better sense of like what your impression is of the brand and how it aligns with Shopify's bigger picture. I'm not a big esports guy. I mean, I know the concept, and it's like very esports is like the fastest growing thing in the world, but it's also like one of those things where there's like a lot of money being pumped in right now. Um, and I guess the
Yeah.
challenge being, you know, how does this fit into Spotify's bigger picture of what they're trying to do and how they're trying to position themselves. Sorry, not Spotify, Shopify.
Shopify, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, esports is huge. We've done some decks for some esports company back like 5 years ago when this whole COVID broke out. Esports became even bigger because
Hmm.
of the COVID thing. I think everybody was home and playing live streaming and playing games. So
Yeah.
that's at least my experience with it. But looks interesting. So they have this whole brand around even clothes and everything like collections. It
So
seems.
it's like
Yeah.
merch around those sports, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just, I guess um, it's not, this is sort of a loss leader for Shopify. It's a
Yeah.
marketing expense. But they
Yeah.
do also sell the products that are interesting. And I'm just like, and I think they do it to sort of tie into, some brand awareness from Shopify. Um, yeah, yeah, it's funny. So like Moist Critical, who you probably know, and Ludwig, they had like their own team called Team Moist or something, and they couldn't get visas because of the name Moist. People just hate the word moist.
What?
It's
What?
it's a polarizing word, I think, in the English language, moist.
Really? Why would that be? Wow.
Well, I think it's like it can be uncomfortable, like if your socks are moist, you know,
Yeah.
it's like it doesn't feel good. So the it's sort of a weird. I don't know. It's one of those words that like people just don't like that word, and so he had spent a bunch of money, and then they ended up. I think Shopify ended up just like getting them to merge into Shopify team,
Okay.
Shopify Rebellion.
So yes, you look for these opportunities, right? Like to,
Yeah.
work with brands like these, which are at the intersection of esports and
Yeah.
because they also need a lot of culture and they would have money to spend on maybe, designing and stuff like
Yeah.
that, right? It can be a good mix of fashion as well as, cool brand design experiences. I don't know.
Yes.
They
Yes.
definitely don't make money on this.
Yeah.
Because of they give away a lot, their sponsorships, their partnerships. I mean, with the different teams, like they sponsor a team in Halo, League of Legends, StarCraft,
Mm-hmm.
Street Fighter, Valorant. Like these are all teams they get they pay I don't know, they pay for their money, they pay for I'm sorry, they pay for their flights, visas, entries, all sorts of stuff.
Mm.
And then the gear as well too. So I guess the question is like, what is the bigger picture of why Shopify is doing this?
Yeah. And then why did you mention is what I'm trying to understand. Like when you were talking to Yash, it's like the story came up. I'm trying to connect the dots.
Oh, it's been on
Uh,
my mind. Well, first it was fashion. Like you
yeah,
showed the
yeah,
fashion stuff. And then
yeah,
earlier you said merch.
yeah,
Merch.
Yeah.
And it was
yeah,
Yeah.
something that I've been looking into is
yeah,
Shopify's other stuff.
yeah.
They
Now
have
I get it.
this, and I'm
Yeah.
just
I'm
trying to understand their bigger picture play and how that's positioning them. They also sponsor a race car team, Shopify Racing.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm in the process of designing merch for this museum. It's based out of Shimla. It's called the Army Heritage Museum. I like if I have the sharing rights, I'll
We
show
Yeah,
it to
yeah,
you.
yeah.
And I feel like merch is such an emotional thing. So, like, if you
Mm.
place it out of concerts, if you place it at a place that somebody has just experienced, they'll like go for it instantly. Versus if you make it like a longer route to get something, or if you make it a task to get something, it could be like kind of uncomfortable for somebody to go around. So this is essentially a museum in Shimla, and I have not organized this file, so it'll just come as it is. But yeah, it houses a lot of military history and everything. So statues, weaponry, etc., etc. And I mostly do ads for them. Like these kind of billboards and ads. So this is kind of in the main market, and it had snowed really nicely. And we were just working towards merch that is both like easy to carry, but also means something. So these were a few, and like patriotism in terms of like army support is very prevalent in India. At least like we are very much about that. So there was one which said that my heart is olive, and it basically has this camouflage print. This does quite well, and this is like one of our main things.
Mhm.
And we got it in many colors. As I said, I don't, I've not organized it too well. But yeah, then we also keep like as a remembrance thing, we keep saying lest we forget. Like it's a quote that you'll see at many places. So we use this for a t-shirt in like two colors. And then this is just the museum's main building. And we thought that something like for the people who like more minimal things, this could be interesting. And when it got printed, this is like much smaller. So it looks like a very chic black shirt until like you zoom in. And this is like, this as an illustration is just something that I really like
Shimla.
because yeah, Shimla, and it kind of goes back to why the whole preservation of places is even needed. Like it's the environment, it's the people and everything. Plus, like we're based in Shimla, so there was this one set of illustrative people that I had done, and then I was like, okay, what all can be made of it, and kind of just looking at the extent of. But this is quite in the development stage right now.
Mhm.
So yeah, like
I love
just
it.
sharing that,
Should
Yeah.
I
just
need
sharing,
everything.
Same, same.
just sharing that like merch is just an emotional point. Like there, I have merch of bands that I have listened to only in the concert. Otherwise, I don't know, and they're not my usuals, but just that
It's
emotional time
oh,
of
it's a big thing, by
a
the way.
consumer journey.
Yeah, the merch for bands is a big thing. I see long
Mm.
queues outside the Scotia
Mm.
Rogers just to buy just to buy merch of all these artists. It's a big thing. But by the way, Tanya, you should also now, share because I know you guys both were brainstorming on what Charles had
Outfox.
briefed on
Yeah.
Outfox. And since you were sharing, I thought now we can also talk about that. You guys had something to share, right, from the last time.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
Maybe you can give some background before sharing.
Yeah.
So we worked on many interpretations of a fox, and a few of them were very like on the face of it, a very direct fox. But we were like, what if we try and keep it really subtle? And what if we try and keep it as a chic little symbol? And I think we've pretty much gone for more of the mannerism and the meaning of it than the visual of a fox shown to you. But
Sure.
yeah, I think Yash will show. And
I've shared the PDF with you, yeah. Because you have the sharing rights, right?
oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay, wait.
yeah.
Even I have not seen it, so I'd like to see what you did.
I think together we are also seeing it for the first
Yeah,
time.
the whole
Yeah.
thing. Because you were developing side by side. Then I kind of
Mhm.
wrapped it up in a presentation.
Yeah. You guys can see this, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so we've tried to keep like a balanced approach of both fun and the sense of like the importance of the whole thing. So it's relaxed, honest, quirky, and has the freedom to gives you the freedom to let you do whatever you want. Um, we kind of studied why we need it. So the little moments and the kind of places that you are in, um, a subway, a first date, a meeting, a friend get together. And yes, you can like add whenever I'm missing something.
Yeah.
So this like Outfox will save you from the awkward energy that can come along with this, and also let you be you in the truest form. You can eat anything, you can be who you are without the fear of letting any awkwardness come about or embarrassment come about. So, bringing about freedom, readability, and movement. So, more about, as we said, the nuanced understanding of what it means to outfox or what it means to um, be the clever person than to just show. So, I think Yash will talk better about this. It's mostly his brainchild, the logo.
Yeah, so basically, from our last conversation, when Tanya was sharing the little fox tail behind the advertisement, right? So I kind of ideated and we kind of finalized this direction in a way that it's subtle and it can give like the feeling of fox, but not, just the face of fox that was missing. The personality basically was missing in the recent direction that I think Charles you shared with us that was too techy and not like related to the product. So we kind of went ahead with this, that shows movement, breathability, and the freedom of, you being you when you're wearing Outfox. And also the sharp edges to show the cleverness in the word mark. And then just the silhouette of this can also become an icon that we have showed in the further presentation.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
like uh,
this kind of thing.
every yeah, every like brand's dream of being recognized without saying it out loud. So a mark really lets you do that. So this is how we imagined it. and then we tried to come up with communication points that could explain the requirement of it, but at the same time uh, not be, again, just how our Fox is. You never need to be direct. You just need to be indicative of the fact that we've got the solution for things. So rush hour has never been this quiet, present without incident, and butterflies only for like a date.
Yeah. And just the next picture, I was like, because the tail is behind, your bum, and the in the placement of the icon in the underwear is, so it's like you have a tail behind. So it was like just a cool idea as an icon that we were
Yeah.
thinking of.
But yeah, that was the plan. Yeah, and this is the roughness out of which it was born. We did try everything with the eyes, with the face, with that, and every time we would just end up with, why are we putting this, like, what does it actually mean? And then we went behind and we were like, oh, it means ease of movement, it means um being smart enough to not be embarrassed. So yeah.
It is the logo. Is it meant to be a tail?
Yeah, yeah. It's meant to
Yeah.
be an abstract tail. And then for advertising, like Tanya showed last time, we were thinking that the tail can be the anchor point for the consumers as a recognition thing.
Also, like the movement of the foxtail. So,
Yeah.
not just the tail in the most obvious way, but
Mhm.
how a fox usually moves it. So, there's like a curve to it, which is what is there.
I see. So yeah, I like the concept. I think it's hard to know that it's a tail. I think one of the challenges is also the O, or sorry, the X in Outfox is hard to read. It kind of looks like an N.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say that if you can share that again, maybe we can take the thoughts
Yeah.
while you're showing it.
Yeah.
Right, right. I'll just do that. Um, sorry. I am trying
But in terms of understanding first, Charles, the overall, I think where it fits in, I really liked that way. I mean, maybe you already have some thoughts in your head since you've been doing this, thinking about it for a while. But
Yeah.
to.
the premise and the overall understanding of the audience and the tonality as such, does that work?
Yeah, I think so I mean our main target market now is men like 35 to 55-ish. Um they're not necessarily, this isn't like a streetwear brand or anything like that, so it has to sort of be something that makes them feel, clever and gives them a level of freedom. Um I'm not sure about, well, A, can you recognize that it is a tail? Um, and I guess, also like the question with the logo, and we never really got around to this, was like, do you want an icon and a word mark? Do you want the
Mm.
word to be into the logo? There's all sorts of ways that you can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think considering, I mean, the time you would have spent, Yash, on this and the thought,
Yeah.
and what brief we, was given in the live stream only, and we never spoke after
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
That is, I think, probably what's needed to be done more, just like kind of, so you have something that you've shown now. So
mhm,
Yes.
now with the thoughts on it, probably. I mean, it can be further improved, but yeah, I think if the age group is 35 to 55, this just does look like too cool.
Yeah.
If this was an outfox for like, for a rebellion, it's perfect, right? For that, it's perfect. Maybe yeah, the X is the only if here, because it doesn't look like X. It can also be like H or something else. So maybe you can fix it. That's a easy fix.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the directionally first, overall, in terms of who it goes out to, from the logo standpoint, that's what is, I think, may not work. But in the visuals, if you go to the visuals part, um, you know, so some of this, I mean, I think can work, right? What do you think, Charles? Like just
Yeah, of these, first of all, I love Butterflies Only. I think that's really fun. Um,
butterflies only.
Yeah, the 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 quiet. Well, the problem is like the number one question we get is, can the underwear do anything for the sound? And the answer is no. So, um,
Okay.
we might want to reword that. Present without
Right.
incidents is great. Just in terms of the use case, which I think is a big deal for some of the customers. So, yeah, these were fun for sure.
Yeah, cool. I think we can totally rework. Like we would still like to keep it to be subtle, just because we've like tried being really direct, and we also got confused with a lot of things that are already there in the market, because
Mhm.
there are so many Fox icons, to say the least. But just off the top of my head, even something as simple as, I don't know what is going to open in Illustrator, but if we want to show like a more minimal movement, is it like this? Is the X sort of imitating how a smart fox would just move? And then we have
Yeah.
like a more serious font, like not serious, but like a simple serif, simple sans serif, sorry, saying Outfox. So we would, I think, rework thinking, freedom,
Yeah.
readability, and movement, but totally change the direction and the age group for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, and I mean, in terms of just we're kind of just flying by our seat of our pants here in terms of a traditional process. You'd want to talk to the client, be like, what, sit me down for a discovery. We didn't do that. I just sort of
Yeah.
riffed off the top of my head. So
Mm,
I totally understand that. Like, do you want like a word mark or
Yeah.
like a like a monogram where the
Yeah.
like the logo is the word, or do you want like a combination like a logo and word, or
Yes.
like a
Yes. Yes.
mm,
so all these things. So this would be an example of a monogram. Um,
mm,
and I guess if you look at like even something like as simple as like Nix, it's just a custom design thing, and they're just like, look, this is not gonna. We just want something that sort of speaks to sort of the vibe of the underwear. So, and it's not something I've necessarily figured out yet for this, because it's we haven't launched and we don't really know too much about our customers, which is
Yeah.
why like the stuff we're going with is very, very bland, to be honest. And this is more fun. It just may not be in the right direction.
Yeah.
Hmm.
mm.
Guys, it's the client's fault, okay? So
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I didn't, the number one thing you need to do as a designer is have a process so that you're
Yeah.
not making more work for yourself. Because if you if
Yeah.
you
yeah.
if you don't have the right information and you go in the wrong direction, then the client sees it, and the client hasn't necessarily communicated it, then you're going back to the drawing board. So like
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's always the challenge. You want to ask all the right questions. I remember I had an onboarding document, um, and it was like 7 pages long, but then
Yeah.
we would, and then depending on what the client was looking for, we would go through it the before the kickoff, and we just delete everything that wasn't relevant. But it
Hmm.
was basically an exhaustive list of questions. I
Hmm.
can maybe dig it up. I had a few different ones that you would ask in order to get that information, because you want to download, you want to know exactly what's in the client's head prior
Yeah.
to doing it. And that saves you time
Yeah.
not going in the right direction. I think that's also like this is one of my biggest beefs with AI, now that I mention it, is like AI will just answer. And then I'll be
Yeah.
like, wait, you didn't, this isn't what I wanted. But it's like, well, that's AI will just answer with the information it's given. What a good AI in the future is going to do, and they've started doing a little bit, is like be like ask clarifying questions and keep asking more and more questions and
Yeah.
change the way the question is worded, and then they get, and once they've, then a level of confidence where AI is like, okay, I think I have everything I need now. Now I'm going to deliver, right?
That's
Yeah.
such a good, cool product to build, like, and a brief, like how to get the brief right, right? Like a lot of people, you can actually use AI and have it ask more better questions based on what the product is, and actually decide by the end of the brief that whether you should start the project or not, right? Just a simple tool, right? Like
Yeah.
just to ask the brief better, and AI can keep asking you those questions, digging in. Probably we should have touched that to even start with last time. I know we were kind of rushing. There were too many people, and like, what's the proper way to get brief, right? I think every design
Mm,
project should start on what's the best way to get the right brief on. And glad you're mentioning that, Charles. Hope you can dig up that document of yours. Maybe that can be one way of
yeah.
looking at it. But Tanya, do you have one, like what is your way of taking a brief? I know Yash also has some questions, but there's no like structure to it, right? I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have got this from a brand, a music branding agency here in India. So we have this formula of the Navras, which is basically in India, we believe that there are nine emotions. And what brand music does is because they're making something that you can just feel, which is music. You can't see it, you can't quantify it in any way. So they basically ask brands to go and select their nine emotions, and then inside those nine emotions, also they have like the intensity and this and that. So I've done that for one of my briefs, and otherwise, it is literally just a trial and error because a lot of times the client is also not very sure of what all they want. So then it's like throwing darts on a board and just hoping something hits, and then just
Yeah.
going closer and closer. But yeah, in the best case scenario and in the actual way of things, I think it's best to ask all stupid questions, all wrong questions, but ask questions as much as one can.
Yeah, yeah. I found a couple that I used. I had an exhaustive one too, but
Mm.
um let's see. I'll just share this with you guys. Copy. Oops, no, that's not it. So feel free to look at that. That's something that I built back in the day. But the challenge with the stuff that we did was some of it was branding, some of it was like experiential, some of it was digital. So then you got to ask different questions. A lot of the high level questions are still the same. Things like getting the company background, the target audience, the objectives of the, what's, if you're building a product, are you building, like what exists currently. Also, like the things like who are you reporting to? What's their mandate? Like, for me, it was like a lot of times in the bigger companies, you're delivering to somebody who then has to take that and then show it to somebody else, and you don't really know who that other person is, but you need to know what your point of contact needs to look good. I always felt like one of the things you can do with a client is like make your point of contact look like a superstar. So that way your point of contact, when they're delivering this to their higher ups, looks great. And then they're like, wow, they really understood what was important to me in order to show my my direct report. things like that. And there's also like, individual or like, division goals versus company-wide goals and things like that. How does it fit into the holistic picture? All that stuff. So I think I have more questionnaires and stuff, but that was one of them that I picked up.
Yeah, send them over to me. I'll send it to them, and because I think since they both are kind of early into their journey, it's always good to, get some structure from someone who's been there, done that twice, you know. So,
Yeah.
I mean, things are changing like with AI and everything, but I think basics never change, right? Like, how you gonna understand the brief will never change. You can use AI to understand it better, maybe, but I mean, you still have to understand before starting to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Measure twice, cut once. I think in this case, it's asking enough questions is the measuring, and
Yeah.
then it's just similar. I don't know. I don't know if it's like attributed to Einstein or maybe it's falsely attributed to him, where he says like, if I had an hour to save the world, I'd spend 59 minutes thinking about the problem. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
instead of just delivering and go. I think, that's also culturally where you want to sort of transcend a lot of like that Indian lens of like, I'm just going to be doing what I'm told to do. Instead, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I got to really think about this in a way, clients don't know what they want. So
Yeah.
don't default to, oh, the client knows exactly what he wants. I don't know. We don't.
Oh yeah, I mean we know that. Been there like now a lot of times in the last 6 years of running my agency, of creating a pitch deck. Sometimes they don't know. We feel that if they're gonna, tell us something and we're gonna create a story, then why are they coming to us, right? Half the things even they don't know. So it's always like that. And also I feel that Yash, for you, because your brand name is Studio Marinate, what he
Mhm.
said is so right. Like, you just
Yeah.
keep thinking about it and marinate it so well, because
Yeah.
the final output would be, may take very less time, but it's how you marinate and think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, by the way, I wanna also say that while we're doing this, creating his brand live stream, we've only had like 2 1-hour sessions, and I don't think so. I mean, there's a lot of time given outside it as well while you've been thinking,
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
idea is I don't want you to, put effort, but not too much effort while we keep building it online. But
Yeah.
how do you like this idea of doing this over live stream? Of course, we'll need some more structure to it. But
Mm.
does that sound fun for founders to come in and give briefs, and maybe we have designers who take a crack at it? What do you think about that, Charles?
It does, yeah. I guess we've sort of exposed one of the challenges of this method, which
Mm.
is like, I don't want to set you guys up for failure.
Yeah.
I also would love to get something that's meaningful to my business. And so the one hand is the content, on the other hand, it's like, well, how do we adjust this so that the work product can be good and you guys feel like you did something meaningful.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you guys think will do for the next one that can make it work better and towards your final output? Do you want to maybe send questions to Charles and he can send you back some answers, like a questionnaire, so that that
Yeah,
can work better?
yeah, I think a questionnaire would help. And now that we have like a better idea as well, and then
Yeah.
maybe for like future streams, we like, because we have the founder coming in as well, maybe we just do a 15-minute brainstorm with the founder.
Mhm.
Because sometimes like just rolling and spitballing ideas gives us a greater insight into what they are thinking and where their thoughts are. Even if um, it's not fully formed, we still have more directions if we just like think together.
Yeah.
So probably like a 10-minute brainstorm session, no wrong ideas kind of space could be interesting.
Yeah. Like mood boards
Maybe,
too, especially if it's
yeah.
visual, like it helps. I always thought, I actually had this idea from a long time ago. Like if you could build, like imagine Tinder, but for mood boards. Like,
Mm,
so what our challenge really is that the client maybe is not always on board with, you just want their initial reaction to this or this. So imagine if you
Mm.
gave a mood board in form of a Tinder and you're just like, and the guy's just swiping left, swiping right, swiping left. And then imagine if there's like 4 or 5 other stakeholders and they're all doing that. And then you created like a mind map of like everybody swiped right on this concept or this,
Yeah.
Mhm.
even this image. So let's
Mm.
let's dive deeper into that, and it sort of like creates that bit of a conversation. I always thought about building that vibe coding.
Yeah.
Take that idea,
I-
steal it, use it, build it. I don't care.
No, yeah, thank you, Charles. I think as we start to get more people, even online, they would also send some ideas out, right? Like if once they start joining the live stream, we may have people who throw in the ideas, the designers to throw in the ideas, so it can really become something, something more interesting than where we are right
Yeah.
now. At least that's the
Yeah.
aim.
Yeah. Can we like do a rapid design process in 60 minutes? Then maybe we have the brainstorm and then we have this mood board in the form of a Tinder, but and then we also go like, okay, 10 minutes are for our like self explorations. Maybe we just get rough sketches initially and develop them together. But yeah, how
I
does a
feel
fast design process look like?
I feel it should be on the set. If you're getting a founder's time on one day, and if you want to do it only one day for one founder, I feel it has to be longer than 1 hour. It can't be just 60
Mm,
minutes.
right.
It probably
Yeah.
can be about at least 2 to 3 hours because live stream, like the whole thing, uh, needs time, right? So you can do some pre-work, and by the end of the 2 to 3 hours, something actionable for that founder to take back, so they see value of also joining in. And I think once they start seeing the value, I don't know, you can start charging the founders to come in. I mean, there can be interesting ways you can monetize this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the value proposition as well is like, you sell it to founders, be like, hey, in order to get the most out of this, here's this stuff that we need from you to start and clearly define the problem, clearly define that, and like put it on the founder to be like, you need to
Yeah,
do this first so that we can
mm,
start with this. And
yeah,
then, structure it in a way that say like you'll get the most out of it if you do this too.
yeah,
Um, don't make it crazy hard for them, but make it say like, if you should come in with a challenge that we can help, spread some light on and see if
yeah.
if we can, give you some sort of tangible benefit leaving this experience.
Yeah, man. I'm super excited by it. I mean, it's like you said, it's my vehicle of trying to bring everybody together and create value for everyone. This design stream, I think now I've done it for the third time. I feel every time we do it, there's something more exciting that comes out of it, and there is a case for it for sure, I feel.
Hmm.
To do it across geographies, maybe do it the other way too. Like, there are a lot of Indian companies which are, which have all the money, but I'm not saying they don't have like good Indian designers, but sometimes you need an outside perspective to go in a market like US. Like if you're going for a US market, you need somebody to build the brand from that perspective, somebody over here who can actually build the brand for Series A, Series B companies who are getting ready to go to US. So it can work both ways and not just like a like a outsource thing. That's the last thing you want to do, right? Like outsource design. I mean we can bring designers from here. Charles, you had to bring some designers, maybe if you know somebody who will be interested to bring in, come brainstorm. Even in Canada, we can invite that person in. You can connect me and I can tell him
Yeah,
what
let
are
me
we
know what
doing and
kind of
everything.
design you're looking for, if it's graphic or it's product.
Yeah.
Um,
I
yeah, I'm
mean,
happy to.
graphic would be easier to start. I think product will be even more interesting. I mean, it'll have its own challenges, but I think we should try to do graphic for now, and maybe get into other design aspects later on. That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, no, happy to leverage my network, see who might be interested, and then
Yeah,
just,
and
yeah, I
use
would say
it.
just keep working on that structure.
Yeah, we will get, I think, more structure to it for sure. I think after today's session, that's what I'm feeling. Even for First Flight Angels, you're like, hey, we have an interesting way to help you all. You know, like as you build your brand, I mean, this thing grows, it can help everybody, I feel.
For sure.
Cool,
All
man.
right,
I
I
think
got
it's
I
it's
gotta
time.
jump
Yeah.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta jump.
See.
I know I just asked you. Bye. Take care.
All right.
Cheers.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye.
So guys, I think this was good to at least get his feedback firsthand. He's a obviously a
Yeah.
very senior
Yeah.
um,
Hmm.
person in design, and he was very kind of precise with his feedback as well.
Hmm.
Yeah,
If
that's
what
true.
clicked and what didn't click, I think he gave the right reason also. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is like the audience doesn't work. If the audience doesn't work, I
Hmm.
mean, nothing else matters then, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the X had a problem even I saw because even I didn't see it before. So that was my first feedback too. But I think, I mean, considering the time you would have put on it and everything,
Yeah.
this is all learning for everyone, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think over a period of time, even we'll like know the exact questions. Um, and it usually happens that when you don't know too much, you consider yourself to be the client. And I think that's what the two of us also did. We're like, okay, who's the client? Oh, it's a young person. But
Yeah.
yeah, we can sit and ask the right questions for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I think for the next founder, like the document Charles shared, we can kind of make a Google form kind of thing. And before the founder comes on the call, we can share the form with him so that we discuss more important things and we have the
Mhm.
prerequisite set for the call. And then we
Yeah.
jump on to mood boarding and stuff like that on the basis of the call. So we have the story, audience, everything ready before jumping onto the call. And then we can save time like this as well, and the founder can
Mm.
already feel the value or the seriousness of this exercise from the before joining the call.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think it has to be a longer stream because if you're getting the founder's time for just one session, so that you also complete everything in one go for one founder. As we
Yeah, for
get more
sure.
Yeah,
founders, you can probably now start doing longer streams for 2 to 3 hours. There will be silence in between. I mean, we can all talk about different things if it doesn't distract the designers. But
yeah,
or we can have some designers who are just focused and other people talking to the design, like to the founder. Like I can talk, and maybe we can
Mm.
have one more person to talk, so that
yeah,
we complete the whole thing in one go. We understand the brief beforehand,
Yeah.
we send the questionnaire, we start brainstorming, start then probably finalizing some feedback and everything. By the end
Mm.
of it, if they get something and they use it, that's when it gets exciting, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
And also like narrowing down the problem. So even if
Yeah,
we have like 2 to 3 hours, maybe we're just focusing on a word mark for
yeah,
the entire duration, or we're just focusing on what are the best type of visuals that we can use.
yeah,
Maybe they
yeah,
have a logo and they're just looking at the extension of it,
yeah,
into going into new spaces, into thinking about the advertising bit of it. So
yeah.
like narrowing down the problem and then narrowing down what is needed. So
Correct.
we would need to do that. Otherwise, we'll have like a lot of ideas, but maybe they're not as actionable.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true. I think that's a good point that I think that also is an art, right? How you narrow it down. And
Mm.
as we do more, we will know, I think, more of it. I mean, I do a lot of pitch deck workshops where initially I was mostly telling the do's and don'ts. And when I started actually opening up and saying, hey, as a founder, why don't you pitch? And I'll give you a live feedback. That's when it got more valuable also for the founders, right? That, oh, you're getting live feedback on the pitch. So I think those live
Mm.
uh, work is what makes it exciting. And maybe you both of you should also think about how to market this better, right? Get more people to start watching
Mm.
it, because if you're doing something interesting, we'll get a lot more inbounds of founders as well. We can make posts around, hey, if you're a founder, early stage, we would love to,
Yeah.
give you that help, because at the end of the day, you're doing this, I mean, sort of free work, because you're trying to build something, your own brand, and maybe, eventually you want to charge also, right? So all
Yeah.
this work should eventually help you, build a relationship with these founders and take projects from them, and
Mm.
monetize it eventually. So that's the aim, right?
Right.
yeah,
So if we are all aligned, so I would say, because I do these 5 6 sort of streams every day, I kind of then find the right people. That's my aim, to own each track. And I'm happy to obviously help and get in the right founders, look out for those people and give you ideas. But yeah, the execution is something that you both will have to do on
Yeah,
this.
totally.
Yeah.
I think we can get to it
If it's
and
exciting,
start
right?
thinking.
Tanya, is
I
this
mean,
exciting?
it is because I think we've just not cracked anything, therefore we're not getting
Yeah,
like we're not visibly exciting, but the
Yeah.
potential of it is so cool. Um, and also like we are all, even if we don't do it live, we're all chasing that moment in
yeah,
design. So
Yeah.
any way that we get it, and what is better than like actually sitting with people and doing it? Because
yeah,
usually more and more we're going into silos and doing work. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I think once we have
Let's
that
do it.
one aha live moment
Yeah, yeah, it will happen. I
towards
mean,
that.
imagine I'm waiting for that since 25 days. But I feel every time I do this, I feel I'm closer to
Yeah.
one of the tracks to give that moment. And,
Yes.
it's just a matter of bringing the right people together and doing it the right
Yeah.
way. I think right people together is happening. Uh,
Yeah.
doing it the right way and making that happen is what we need to work on. I think we'll get there. It's a process, right?
Yeah.
So,
I
Yeah.
think
so
cold call was also very close. Like
yeah, it actually was very close, and we're gonna keep doing it. That can be the quickest closure if that happens
hmm.
online, and we can start cold calling for each of the tracks also. Hey, we cold calling you to invite you as a founder.
For yeah.
This is what we are doing. We'll charge you this much if we close it. If you don't like anything, don't pay us, something like that.
Yeah.
uh, so all these things can actually work together. And my
Similar
friend,
thing. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Similar thing can happen for like we can pitch it like a branding sprint, and
yeah,
if it clicks, you can pay, we can have a framework because they're
yeah,
already giving the questionnaire. So there can be this clause in it, and it can be like a sprint. Okay, you tell us everything and we give you whatever we can in that frame time. So yeah.
Hmm.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel let's keep doing it. My friend that day told me, hey, I mean, you never know what this snowballs into, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a snowballing effect. I know in my head the snowballing is happening, but it
Yeah.
takes time, right? When it starts from the
Mhm.
hill, like up on the like really, really tall peak, by the time it
Yeah.
comes down, that's when it becomes something massive. So I
Yeah.
think at least the snowballing has started. So yeah, on your end, I think you can market this maybe a little more and at least try to bring designers, even founders from India can come. We don't have to only bring it from
Yeah.
here. Your
Yeah.
network is across. You can use it as a way to also invite people who can be your potential clients, saying, hey, I would love to offer you like a 2 hours design sprint and
Yeah.
Hmm.
bring them in and build that relationship over 2 3 hours and see if that converts into client, right? Like, because you're getting there two three
Yeah.
hours as long as the expectation setting is right and they know what they're
Right.
coming
Yeah.
into. And so create some cool content from, I think, the 3 sessions we have done. Maybe you can give
Yeah.
some video content ideas to Sameer is also listening in, and he can edit something out of it. So start
Yeah.
thinking on this to how to market this also better, I feel. तो हो जाएगा कुछ ना कुछ. So exciting stuff. So cool. I think for today we are good. We can end this just to pray to the universe and also make our next step, the aha moment, come near. you know let's pray for that to the universe that made it happen today. Like the energies and all were really there, and we talked some really good stuff, and I feel all of us are trying to do something here to bring the aha moment. Hopefully it comes soon. And Tanya, your projects as well, I feel make it live, and you get some really good recognition and love. Same for you, Yash, as well. Hope your confusion of running your own thing versus doing a job gets more clearer as it goes. Yeah, that's all I'll pray to the universe for, and to world peace also, that should prevail. Amen. Awesome.
Amen.
Bye. Take care. Talk soon.
Yeah.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye. Thank you.
Bye.